Hello, and thank you for joining me on today's Create With Us. My name is Jacqueline, and I'm the Community Science Outreach Coordinator for the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History. And welcome to my kitchen craft table. Today, we are going to be learning about the California red-legged frog, which is an endangered species that can be found here in the Monterey Bay area. For this craft, all you're going to need is a toilet paper roll, glue, scissors, yarn, and 2 small pebbles. Okay? If you don't have pebbles, you can use like wooden beads or even dried beans. And construction paper. Now, if you don't have green construction paper, you can use paint or markers to decorate your frog. Are you ready to get started? Alrighty, our first step is to turn our frog body green. So I'm going to do this by taking my toilet paper roll and wrapping it in green construction paper. And like I said earlier, you don't have to use construction paper, you can use paint instead. Great. It's really important that the glue dries before we move on to our next step. California red-legged frogs are amphibians, and amphibians are animals that are ectothermic, meaning they don't regulate their own body temperature and have to use their surroundings to be warm or cold. Another cool characteristic of amphibians is that they have moist and scaleless skin, meaning they're able to absorb both water and oxygen from their surroundings. While our frog is drying, we can cut out our legs. So attached to this video are instructions where you can find leg templates. Now, if you don't want to use the template, feel free to cut out your legs of any shape or size. I've cut out a front pair of legs and a back pair of legs. Now, the California red-legged frog actually has black stripes that run down the different legs, so feel free to add those. So this craft is not just an ordinary frog. We're actually going to be making a catching game where our frog will be able to catch the insect of its choice. The California red-legged frog is an opportunistic hunter, meaning they will eat any insect or maybe small animal that they can catch if they're hungry. Now, this can range from butterflies to regular flies to dragonflies and even moths. So it can also include crickets or bees or wasps or anything that catches their eyes that they think might be delicious. So you need to pick out the insect of your choice. You can either draw it out and cut it into a shape, or you can print out one of the insects that I've provided on the instruction sheets. Now, I'm going to use a dragonfly. So, you have your insect. Now, we need to cut a piece of string that is about twice the length of our toilet paper roll. Okay, if it's a little little longer, that's fine. If it's a little shorter, that's okay too. Alright, so we have our string. And then we're going to take our 2 pebbles. Right. So with an adult's help, you can use a hot glue gun for this part. And you're going to glue your pebbles, one to each end of your string. Now, you can also use a dried bean, like I have here. I have a dried pinto bean on this end and a dried pinto bean on this end. Okay. Another option is you can just have 1 pebble on one side. Okay. I like the 2-sided one because it will make our length adjustable and we can determine how difficult it is to catch our prey when we're playing our froggy game. Okay, so now that I have my string with a pebble or a bean tied to each side, I'm going to take my toilet paper roll and I'm going to compress one side just like that, and I'm going to feed my string through. Okay, and I'm going to hold it like this, just like this. Okay, now I'm going to take my stapler and I'm going to staple it so that the string is directly in the middle of the staple, just like that. Okay, now this is going to allow my string to be able to move up and down. So if I want it to be really hard, I can have it nice and long and try to catch my bean in it, or I can shorten it and try it again. Alright, so now that that part is done, I'm going to glue my dragonfly to my bean. I'm going to hold that for a while it dries. Now we have our body and we have our prey, but we're still missing a few key features that frogs have, like our hopping legs. So I can also glue my back legs on, and you can always use a binder clip to help hold things in place while they dry. And my front legs, now I'm not going to glue my front legs all the way to the top, but I'm going to give them like a nice middle area. Okay, so I have my back legs and my front legs, and I'm still missing my eyes. So I'm actually going to let these dry for a while, and I'm going to take a Sharpie, but if you have googly eyes, you can just glue on googly eyes, and I'm actually just going to draw some eyes here on this side, like this, so that your frog can see where its prey is. Just like that. Alright. So here is another version I made, but I had googly eyes. So I added googly eyes and I used a pebble instead of a dried beans. And this frog has a little moth. So there's a few different ways that you can make this craft to be more or less challenging. And I want to see your creations, so please share them with the Pacific Grove Museum of Natural History. And thank you for joining me on this week's Create With Us.